Hi, sixth graders. Today we're going to do section 3 from chapter 8, area of rectangles and parallelograms. The first part that we go into here, estimating the area of an irregular figure, is useful, kind of fun a little bit, but you probably get a little different answers than your neighbor sometimes, or somebody else that's doing it, because it is an estimate. So we'll go through that. Then we'll move on to area of a rectangle, which I hope is a little bit of review for you, and area of a parallelogram, which hopefully is also a little review for you. So first off, estimating the area of an irregular figure. Irregular means it doesn't have a normal shape. If you notice in the picture here, it has kind of a curved sides here, and then they put this nice grid over top of it. And the grid is useful because we can now do these steps here, step 1, 2, and 3, where we're actually counting squares. So if we go in and we count just the red squares. So I'm going to put, I'll actually put a black dot. Your squares are black and white on your page, but mine are colored. So we're going to count the red ones first because those are full squares. They're completely within the shape. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have 16 red squares. The next step would be to count the almost full squares, and we're going to count those as if they were full squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 blue squares. 11 of those. And we count those as full because at the end we're not going to count ones that are almost empty. So it kind of evens out. And then the last one we're counting are the green squares. And we want to count those ones as halves. And obviously 2 halves equals 1 full. So remember that as you're counting those squares. So there's one here that's just about half, another one, 2, 3, and 4 of them. So if we have 4 halves, we have the green ones here, and we have 4 of those, which is the same as 2 full squares. So now we have a total number that we can add up. Again, we're not counting those yellow ones that are almost empty. And again, this is where your judgment comes in a little bit. You might argue with me that some of those yellow ones might be almost half full. So that's kind of up to you how you count. But for this example, these are the numbers we're going to use. So we add those up. 16 plus 11 plus 4, not plus 4, plus 2, because we have 2 full squares. So we're going to have our 16 plus 11 plus 2 gives me, let's see, 16 and 11 is 27, plus 2 more gives me 29. So if we wanted to say the area here is 29 miles squared, and the reason I know it's miles squared is because I get that from the units given to me there, so I use that as my units here. Area is always going to be represented in something squared. This little 2 here. Anytime you have units, you're going to put the distance and then the little square whenever you're doing area. So that's irregular figures. When you do your assignment, that is numbers 1, 2, and 3. So it's number 1, 2, 3, and then numbers 11, 12, and 13. 11, 12, and 13. So again, you may have a different answer a little bit than the answer key, but you should probably be within about a square of that. And if you want to trace those figures to cross things off, trace them on a piece of paper, cross it off. Try not to write in your book, please. All right, then we go down to area of a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is using a formula. The formula here is length, times the width equals the area. We always represent area in a capital A, length in a lowercase l, and width as a lowercase l as well. So It doesn't really matter on your rectangle whether the length or width is the one that runs horizontal or vertical. I usually use the length as the horizontal one, but again, it doesn't matter because we're multiplying and we can put those in any order. So if I write my formula here, length times width equals area, and if I use my length, 13 meters there is my length, so 13, and my width times 8 equals my area. So I would solve that 13 times 8 equals 104. And please use a calculator on that. You don't have to do long division. Equals my area. And again, we want to use correct units, so I would say 104. And my units are meters, and it's area, so squared. So there's my final answer there, 104 meters squared. So that's area of any rectangle. Works for squares as well. There is technically a different formula for squares. We'll get into that one another day. But length times width for a rectangle. Then we go to parallelogram. And this one is almost exactly the same formula. They just use this B and H for base and height. So some people will actually use base and height for their rectangles as well, instead of length and width. It does not matter to me as long as you know which ones you're talking about. The reason that they use that on here, if you notice, my parallelogram has this red dotted line here. And that is the height, not the length of this slanted line. You want to go straight from the bottom to the top at a 90-degree angle. So that's why they say height there instead of length and width. So again, we take our formula, base times height equals area. And we'd say 3.5 is my height and 2 1/3 is my base. So 2 1/3 times 3 1/2 equals area. And if you remember multiplying fractions, great. Otherwise, please use your calculator. And if you have the calculator that was recommended for school this year, you can put those numbers in there. You would hit the 2 key, your A, B, C button, a 1, then your A, B, C again, then a 3 times, and that'd be this key for you guys, and then you would do 3 A, B, C, 1 A, B, C, 2, and then your equals key. Those are all buttons you push on your calculator, and you would get the answer of 8 1/6. And again, we have units, which are our inches here, so we'd include those inches squared. So again, feel free to use a calculator on that. I don't think there are a lot of them in the problem that have fractions. There are only one of them that has fractions, it looks like, in the numbers you have to do. So one other one, there's going to be kind of a challenging problem. I'll go on to the back side here and kind of gets you to think a little differently. So they have a box drawn and then they have another box inside. And they say something like this is 10 and this is 5. We'll just say inches. And the inside box here is 4 inches by 1 inch. And they want to know what is the red area, okay? So you have to take the total area, the whole thing, so your 10 times your 5, which equals my 50 inches squared. And then you have to find your inside area. Here you got to find this guy, which is your 4 times 1, which equals 4 inches squared. And how would you find what's left? You would do a subtraction problem. So you would do your 50 minus 4 equals 46 inches squared. Now those aren't the numbers from the book, but it gives you an idea of how to do a problem like that. So here you go, numbers 1 through 13 and number 20. Number 10 and number 20 are the ones that are like the one I just showed you here. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email. I'd be happy to talk to you on the phone if you need that.